What you guys, got another video here for you on things that would make Windows great again. We're going to be going over some of the things that I think if they changed these, it would make Windows great again. Now, we all know that Windows 11 has been a complete failure according to the actual stats, because the stats say that many people are still using Windows 10. Over 60% of people still use Windows 10 over Windows 11's small percentage that it has. Now, Windows 11 is a really good operating system, believe it or not, but there's a lot of things that they could do better by removing certain things, which would make Windows 11 absolutely the best operating system out there today, unless you're a Linux user, of course, and of course they're going to say that Linux is the best, but it just isn't. But let's go ahead and talk about that in this video. But before we do that, let's have a quick word from today's video sponsor, CD Key Sales. If you're looking for cheap Windows 10, cheap Windows 11 Pro OEM keys, then check out the links in the video description. Use my promo code R09 and apply this to your order, and you will get a 30% discount on all of your purchases on CD Key Sales. You can use PayPal to pay for your purchase, and they will send you a key, and you will then be able to go ahead and activate your version of Windows just like you see on the screen right here. Anyway, let's get back to the video. The first number one thing I think Microsoft need to change and stop forcing people to use a Microsoft account during the Windows installation process. This is really annoying, and why don't you just give people the option to use a local account like you used to when you was installing Windows? Because many people have to go through this painful experience of jumping through hoops to basically have a local account installed on their system. Now, Microsoft must know that people want to use a local account because they keep blocking the bypass method to use a local account. So they know that people want to use it. So why force people to use a Microsoft account in the first place? Surely you would make your customers happy by letting them use a local account instead of forcing them to sign up with a Microsoft account. They used to let you do it, so I don't understand why they are forcing you to do this, because it is causing so much upset amongst the users who use Windows. They just don't want to do it, and I just don't understand why they just don't give you the option and let you choose yourself whether you want to sign in to your Microsoft account, because I'm pretty sure there is a ton of people that do like to sign into a Microsoft account, but there's a heap of people that don't want to sign into a Microsoft account. It's that simple. So just give the choice back to the user whether they want to use a Microsoft account or local account, and that's going to solve the problem, instead of having to find new ways of bypassing this to be able to use a local account, just like you see right here. Another thing that they can remove during the installation process, rather than giving you questions and answers here, whether you want to allow your location or find my device, or send diagnostic data back to Microsoft, or improve inking and typing, or get tailored experiences from diagnostic data, and advertising ID. I pretty much say no to these every single time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. What they're hoping for is people don't read them and they just say yes, and you end up getting bombarded by adverts and other stuff that you don't want. So just take that out of the installation process. Next up is a simple one. All of this bloat that gets installed onto Windows during the installation process, no one really wants it. So why keep doing it? And remove a lot of this filler that no one wants either. So basically give people a clean version of Windows, just like LTSC, where none of this bloat is installed, rather than making people go through and start to de-bloat Windows themselves with run the risk of breaking Windows. Just give people an option for a clean install rather than having all that bloat inside there. Most of the people I talk to just want a clean install of Windows like they used to be, and they don't want all of this stuff. It's like all of this area right here. There's tons of stuff inside here that I don't think I've ever used. I just turn everything off, and I have to go through the process of going into group policy or doing registry tweaks or using scripts or batch files to turn all of this off really quickly. But there's a lot of people out there that don't know about this, and it just really does become a resource hog. Most people don't want any of this stuff on their system. So just give them an option not to have it, or have a button where it says opt out and all of this will be turned off. Because Windows 11 is a really secure operating system, but unfortunately the amount of bloat inside of here is just ridiculous. There's a lot of stuff in here that people don't need, and they just continue to add more and more stuff during the feature updates process, and they end of life other versions of Windows quickly, so you're forced to have to upgrade to the next version. And this is what it's become, and I don't think people like it. And people are showing that by leaving the platform and going to other operating systems. There's stuff here that I don't think anyone uses, which is that widgets thing there. The Copilot I definitely don't want, so I turn all of this stuff off. And I'm not sure who's in charge of Windows on the way we receive feature updates and what they think's important, because most of the stuff they're rolling out is just not important and people don't want it. And of course, you're forced to upgrade to the next version so quickly, and then you're just going to end up with a system that is full of bloat that ends up breaking the system. And this is the same old cycle. So they don't listen to people. And there must be tons of videos out there that are complaining about the same sort of stuff with all of this filler in here that no one needs. And it could come with a much more cleaner install. And there's easy ways of doing it, but you shouldn't have to do it. And again, all of this here, who uses any of this stuff? They just bombard you with this, and you can turn all of this off, but you have to go through the registry and make a registry tweak to turn this off. Copilot embedded everywhere. And this is the future of Windows. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not liking the way it's going. Then we have the Windows Store. I'm not sure who uses the Windows Store. There is some use to it. There is a couple of games on here that people might want to play inside there. But a lot of the stuff in here is just full of adverts and full of bloat that just does your computer no good. And there's a lot of dodgy stuff inside here. No one's vetting it properly. And it's super dangerous just installing stuff inside here. You've got to be really careful. There has been known to have malware inside the Windows Store. But again, some people might use it and like it. I think when it first came out, people were really interested in it. But again, they just fill it up with a load of bloat that no one wants. And again, that just becomes a big problem. So a lot of people just don't want it and turn it off or get rid of it altogether. Next up is the updates. Give people the option to update to feature updates if they want to. Don't force feature updates onto people. Give people a choice. Make the Windows versions live longer rather than making them end of life very quickly. Some people want to stay on, say, 22H2, and they might not want to go to 23H2. But before you know it, 24H2's coming, and it might have a bunch of stuff in there that people don't want. So they just stay on that version, but then it becomes end of life, and they're forced to update to that next version. So I think give people a clean version that works and stable, because that's what really people want, is a stable version of Windows. And they don't want to keep having pointless feature updates that no one's ever going to use. And basically, they would end up using a script to turn them all off or disable them or hide them. So I think if Microsoft offered just a version of Windows that allows you to update security updates, which are important updates, and opt out or in to feature updates if you want them, and give you a list of stuff that you're updating to so you know exactly what you're getting into. And we all know Microsoft can do it because there is versions of Windows that are completely debloated, like the Windows 11 Enterprise. It doesn't have nowhere near the amount of bloat that a standard version of Windows has. So they give you the option to download it and install it, but it's a 90-day trial and you would need a license key. And unfortunately, these are volume license keys which are designed for businesses and they're not easy to obtain. And give home users the option to purchase a LTSC key and use it and activate it in a normal way you would do any other Windows version, so you can use it instead of having to be a business. I think if you do a lot of these simple things, people won't have the need to download debloat scripts or batch files or registry hacks or little applications that change Windows and sometimes can break Windows if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what the actual application or script's doing. So be very careful when you're using things like this. If you don't understand what the code is doing in the back end, then don't use them because they will end up breaking your system. And I've seen tons of people coming on our Discord server asking for help after they've run a bunch of tweaks or one of their friends has tweaked their system and it's ended up breaking it and they don't know what to do to get it back. And let's face it, you shouldn't have to run scripts on your system to get a Windows operating system more usable for you. It should be like that straight out of the box. Now, it goes without saying that adverts shouldn't be displayed inside an operating system. Microsoft have gone above and beyond to embed adverts just about everywhere they possibly can and nag you, and it's a really annoying thing. And I just think that it's a real bad avenue to go down. There's a lot of people that are doing this now. Amazon are doing it with their Amazon Prime. Even if you have Amazon Prime, you're still getting adverts on a movie that you're trying to watch, and you've already paid for Prime. So let's talk about uninstalling applications and the lack of uninstall for some applications. For instance, OneDrive. I mean, why install it on there in the first place when most people are uninstalling it? You know, I can understand they want to give you the option to use all of their products, but most people don't want half of this stuff on here. So give people the option to check mark it during the installation where you can install or leave it off. It's that simple. And, you know, give people the option to use Edge if they want to use Edge, or give the option to uninstall it. And as you can see here, you can't uninstall because they won't let you uninstall it. I've never heard of a operating system where they don't allow you to uninstall a browser. If you want to use Firefox, then use Firefox. You shouldn't have to leave Edge on there. And the same thing goes for all of these other applications. Some they allow you to uninstall and some they don't. Now, there was a time when Cortana couldn't be uninstalled. But now they don't need Cortana because they've got Copilot. But now you can uninstall Cortana. And yet they said before that it's heavily embedded into the operating system and it's not possible to uninstall Cortana. But there you go. They're now letting you uninstall it. So they should give you the option to opt in and install all of these during the installation rather than putting them on the system as you boot up the system for the very first time. They're all there. And now you have to go through the painstaking process of removing them all. Let me know on some of the things you don't like about Windows and some of the things that they should change. We all know the start menu is hideous, but I'm talking about main key features like your telemetry and things like that. Let me know down in the comment section what you'd like to see Microsoft change before you would actually install Windows 11 on your system. I'll be interested to read your comments. Anyway, that's going to be about it. I hope you're enjoying the hot weather. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. I shall catch you in the next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server. Bye for now.